What's good? Brother here, Brother Bridge with a bolt of sun moon. Okay, so in our last video we left off with Gnosticism and Gnosticism pretty much reveals the game and the players, lets you know, it draws a line in the sand, lets you know, truth from fiction. Um so after that is established, and you no longer have the wool over your eyes. You're clearly able to see uh through the different perceptions of good and bad or good and evil, which really don't exist. They're the same things. um so how do you escape this prison, that satanic demiurgic prison that we learned about in Gnosticism when we demystified Gnosticism? So how do you escape? How do you become the master of your own destiny? Well, through magic. And how do you do that? Okay, exactly what is magic? And that's what we're going to be tapping into today. So I provided in the chat, the first two comments in the chat are links to the PDFs that we'll be taking a look at today. Advanced Magic for Beginners, and then we have The Magician. We're going to be looking at The Magician first. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into that. All right. So here we go. The Magician, A Study in Effective Magic by Phil Cooper. Excellent book. Okay, so right now what we're going to do now is we're going to define what magic is. Okay. So this book is practical on all levels. It is a perfect blend of practical and esoteric magical practices, starting from first principles. I will try to help you find latent talents to help you become aware of your true potential and show you how to understand magic and how to use it in this day and age. Everything you will need to complete your studies and contained here, blah, blah, blah. The system of magic offered within is original and workable. The principles are universal. That is, they apply to everyone. Okay, so I highlighted right here that pretty much the only magical system that will work for you is your own. So, you might hear people telling you that initiation is necessary, for whatever discipline that you're looking to get into. However, knowing that the universe is mental, then you'll know that if you know that to be true, or if you believe that, then that's what will be. But if you know that you are the creator himself, made in the image of you were created in the image of the creator, and you can create, which gives you that power. You can create, except you have a spirit that resides in you. So that makes you superior to the creator, but you're still able to create. So what you say is law. If you come up with your own system and you know your system will work, your system will work. And who can tell you any difference? Because all that matters at the end of the day is results. So here we go. Magic is the ultimate science. This book is about magic, true magic. It will help you understand the subject, work out your own rituals, and use magic as it is meant to be used, as an aid to a better life and an understanding of that life. Contemporary study of magical subjects confuses novices and practitioners alike because it contains a number of outmoded rules and superstitions that do nothing for the art and science of magic. This book has been written to help restore magic to its rightful place in our creative cycle. True magic is not complicated. Magic belongs to anyone who wishes to use it. True magic comes from within the individual, not from some initiate or secret society. After all, who initiated the first initiate? Magic is a highly individual and personal creative process, and to be effective, each individual must formulate his or her own inner temple, contact his or her power source, and work magic in his or her own way. The basic rules and laws are the same for everyone, and these will now be given to you. From then on, it is up to you. Let us start by defining just what magic is and what it is not. Okay, before we go any further, you guys will probably notice that magic is sometimes spelled with a K at the end of it, and that's Aleister Crowley came up with that because the sphenoid bone in your head, which is shaped like the monarch butterfly, and the reason why the monarch mind program, the mind control program, monarch program, um, by Dr. Joseph Mengele from the Nazis, the guy that started that mind control program. That's why it's called the monarch program, because the sphenoid bone in your head where your pineal gland sits, it sits in the middle of the sphenoid bone, and the sphenoid bone is shaped like a monarch butterfly. Also, when you turn the sphenoid bone on its side, it also looks like the letter K. And being that that is the region that is focused on in this in the mind control technology, or this mind control agenda, and that program, is why the K is at the end of magic. Okay, it represents the sphenoid bone, or that region of the brain. Okay, where the pineal sits. Okay, so let's move on. Magic is not dressing up in brightly colored robes, chanting strange incantations, or collecting grades and titles. This may flatter the ego and be of limited use in some cases, but it is not magic. Path working and meditation are not magic. They are tools, aids. So what is magic? Magic, true magic, is the art of using controlled thought to produce a result. Heavy shit. The art of using controlled thought to produce a result. Now, many of you know that when you try to meditate, if you guys ever tried to meditate, how so many thoughts enter your mind space. Meditation is it's a mental bout. At first it starts off to be, to just clear your mind, to completely clear your mind for 5 minutes is one of the hardest things, because your mind is going to chatter. It's something that is referred to as the monkey mind. It won't shut up. Millions of images and thoughts, and there's always going to be something occupying your brain space. So that right there, learning to control your thoughts is key, because right here it says magic, true magic, is the art of using controlled thought to produce a result. If you doubt this, then ask yourself, why are you interested in magic, or why do you involve yourself with it? Perhaps you feel it is right for you. It is, but maybe not in the way you previously thought. Before starting any magical work, we need to look at how magic works in the light of reason. All thought produces results. By thought, I mean deliberate thought activated by the will, not daydreaming or normal conscious thought, which is analytical, critical, and makes comparisons for evaluation. Will thought produces results, physical results, and thought uses power to create. In normal life, we are generally unaware of this process, yet it happens all the time as we create around us all that we desire or do not desire. Magic is the art of knowing how to use this creation process to produce results that are desirable. Magic is the art of knowing how to use this creation process to produce results that are desirable. So with this definition, we can see how Hollywood has actually mastered the high art of movie making to create desirable results from showing you images and making you believe and think in a certain way. It creates desirable results for them. It is actually called the high art of movies. That's a later topic, because we're gonna jump into that. The whole reason that the entertainment industry was created in the first place. And when you see what it's turned into today, everything will be so much more clear. Okay, so magic is the art of knowing how to use this creation process to produce results that are desirable. Before going on any further, we will take a careful look at the mental process used in creative magical thinking. There are three areas of the mind which concern us: the conscious, which is the ego, the subconscious, which is the soul, and the will, which is that fire, which is your willpower, your purpose, which would be that divine light, which would be that divine spark, which would be Lucifer. Okay. The subconscious mind is the powerhouse. It creates around us all that it believes to be true, according to the instructions we give it. Everything around you here and now has been created for you by your subconscious mind and has been attracted to you like a magnet. It is impossible to stop this creation process. Even when you leave Earth life, it will carry on creating for you and serving you. So they say that even when you leave Earth life, your subconscious mind is going to continue to create and serve for you, even on the next round. Because if you die, but you believe that, you're going to wait for Jesus to come bring you salvation, then in your afterlife or in the next realm, your subconscious mind is going to create that for you. And you'll be sitting somewhere waiting for your savior. Okay. For that is its purpose, to attract to you all that you need. It does not reason, it just accepts instructions that are believed to be in your best interest. Before it will change its creative pattern, it has to be convinced that the new instruction is valid. This is where the will and the conscious mind come into the picture. The will has to get past the barriers of the conscious mind. No matter how strong the will is to change something, it has to convince the conscious mind before that new instruction can reach the subconscious mind. The conscious mind only sees facts in the light of present, subconscious creative patterns, which is why some people are unable to see a fact glaring at them. It is contrary to their deep beliefs. When you were very young and the critical faculties were wide open, your subconscious mind was trying to establish what your will wished. Most children are presented with facts that are accepted without question. Religion, Christianity, Santa Claus, Mickey Mouse, Muppet Babies, talking mice, talking turtles. We could go on. Talking ducks. Okay. Most children are presented with facts that are accepted without question. These facts are totally believed, and so for you, they become true. Some of these facts were probably true. Some of them were probably untrue. Nevertheless, they were all accepted. The subconscious mind will seek to reinforce the conscious mind when a new direction is given to it, and so the whole process becomes a circle. The more the will is exercised, the more the conscious mind looks for facts to substantiate its previous beliefs. So new results are impossible, or at best, extremely slow. For constant expression of the will eventually gets some reaction from the subconscious mind, even if it takes a lifetime. How do we cause a new creative pattern? Why bother? And what has this to do with magic? Quite simply, the subconscious mind is there to create for you whatever you wish. It knows no limits and is neither good nor bad. It just is. Give it an instruction and it will carry it out to the letter. Surely this is worth bothering with. There are many ways of getting through false beliefs to the creative mind, and magic is the best way for some of us. There are many ways of getting through false beliefs to the creative mind, and magic is the best way for some of us. So, talking about Hollywood again. Okay, let's see here. True magic, free from superstition and false ideas, gets results. And and that is the purpose of this book, to show you how to do this. So how do you get the subconscious mind to respond to your will, whatever that may be? By simply using two facts and combining these with positive thought. They are: one, suspension of the critical conscious mind, and two, belief. Okay. Me personally, I prefer belief is cool. It's cool to an extent, but I prefer to know. When I do something, I know, even if I don't know, I know well, how you gonna get it? I don't know, but I know I'm gonna get it. That alone is powerful enough to power your subconscious mind, to bypass your conscious mind. Okay. The idea of combining positive thought with the suspension of the critical conscious mind and belief is used in meditation and self-hypnosis and yields results of a fashion. So staying positive and saying, okay, I must remain positive after I do my ritual or after I do my affirmation or whatever, keeping a positive thought about your about what you just did. Okay, keeping a positive thought, knowing that it will work, is integral. It's a big part of magic, but it's saying here that by far the best way to use controlled imagination is the best way is to use controlled imagination or visualization. So consistently visualizing, consistently sitting down and visualizing, meditating and visualizing when you meditate will produce will produce phenomenal results. And I've done it. I know. Anything visualized and believed will actualize physically. And the more potent the visualization, the better the result. Magic uses a special imaginary language called symbology. Symbols are geometric patterns of power that the subconscious mind understands, that combine with other visual imagery that enhances the effect, as you will see later. Magic without this inner working is merely superstition and theatricals. Okay, so they're letting you know that one of the ways to access the subconscious mind is through symbology. We have symbology, we have trauma, and we have repetition. Okay, so they're talking about symbology here. Symbols are geometric patterns of power that the subconscious mind understands, that combine with other visual imagery that enhances the effect. Okay, now those of you who find you have trouble with this should remember that clear pictures are not necessary. Just know that the image is there. The more relaxed you are, the easier it is to visualize. So bear this in mind. Tension is the enemy of ritual. Okay, so that being said, what is ritual? What is ritual? Let's see here. A moment, y'all. Okay, so what is ritual? We're gonna take a look at Panick's book because he defines ritual extensively. Okay, so this is the Origin of Occult Civilizations by Brother Panic. Okay, so what is a ritual in the first place? Most people, when they hear the word ritual, think of some elaborate practice that involves something evil. The truth is, everyone participates in some form of ritual every day. The Webster's definition of ritual is a formalized, predetermined set of symbolic actions generally performed in a particular environment at a regular, recurring interval. A ritual is also called stereotyped behavior. Okay, so then Panic goes in to talk about different types of rituals. Some of them might be brushing your teeth, it might be bringing your wife roses every Friday and taking her out to dinner. Panic also lets you know that the purpose of a ritual is to align you with a certain frequency, a certain emotional energy, a frequency. So that's the purpose of a ritual. And a ritual that is constantly done over and over and over is called a stereotype. That's why you see that term used in Hollywood. You see a stereotype because that's a ritual. It's a repeated event to get a certain type of, to align you with a certain type of frequency, to align you with a certain type of emotional frequency, and to get results from that. Okay, so now let's go ahead back over here and get back into this. Let's see what's popping over here. Okay, tension is the enemy of ritual. Any magical symbol is there to be used, not prayed to. It is there to be used and understood. Does anyone really understand the pentagram, or has it been accepted because someone else accepted it? Who in turn thought it would be a good idea to work it into large rituals? After all, it is traditional, or is it? In this system, we will use the symbol from which all the others are derived, the encircled cross, sometimes known as the Kabbalistic cross. We will work with it in a way that leads to an understanding of the symbol. We will work in a way that produces results. Now let us look at beliefs. Belief and magic are inseparable. Magic cannot work without belief, and belief is the simplest form of magic. There are, of course, different types of belief. On the one hand, there is blind belief in something, usually without reason. Superstition is an example of blind belief, and superstition has no place in magic. True belief is another matter. It is sane, logical, and will stand up to any test. All right, now we're going to throw away that term logic, because knowing that logic is a European concept, an inferior concept of a certain way of thinking, and logic is actually based outside the holistic view. The concept of logic is to take apart, separate, and examine separately instead of looking at something holistically and totally or universally. So logic, I guess, we're not going to play word semantics here, but as I mentioned in an earlier video, that logic, I'm saying, when you're dealing with magic, logic, it's your enemy. Get it out of there, because some of this will not make sense, man. Some of this will not make sense. Like, you might do a big money Erzuli ritual for 10 G's. You know what I'm saying? And the way that 10 G's showed up, you'll be like, if you try to use logic, man, you sabotage yourself, man. Okay. So it is saying will stand up to any test. Okay, true belief will stand up to any test and can be proved to the person who has it. True belief comes from faith in true facts and cosmic laws. True belief comes from faith in true facts. And so true belief comes from observance and adherence. It comes from studying and applying hermetic laws or cosmic laws. The Kabbalion. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna demystify the Kabbalion coming up. And usually needs a lot of self-searching to obtain. So that they're speaking of also gnosis. The best way to get truth is to ask why until you get there. Never accept someone else's line of thinking until you get to the truth by asking why. Then when you know why, you can accept and believe or reject and disbelief. That's accurate thinking right there. You would find all of these tips and little tidbits in books such as Think and Grow Rich, Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, Awaken the Giant Within. So you see, you see where this is going. Magic is disguised as self-help because these self-help and motivational speakers, they speak of cosmic laws. And when you read, we're reading The Magician right now, and they're saying the exact same thing that Les Brown would tell you. Okay. So we're talking about accurate thinking here, asking yourself why until you get to the bottom, it's like peeling the layers on an onion. You ask yourself why until it makes sense. Okay, remember that disbelief is also a form of belief, and it can cause the subconscious to actualize. All beliefs actualize. Okay, so they just stated a very important fact. Remember that disbelief is also a form of belief. So for one thing to exist, its complete opposite will exist as well. That is the law of correspondence. No, that's actually the law of duality. Pardon me. That's a Hermetic law. That's the law of duality. So everything that exists. So remember, it says that disbelief is also a form of belief. So if you know, that's why just knowing, man, forget about belief. Just know. Just know. Forget logic, man. Just know, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. And do it. Keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Till it works. Because eventually your subconscious mind is going to click. It's telling you right here. It can cause the subconscious mind to actualize. All beliefs actualize. This is why superstitions work. Because for some, they are believable. Even if to others, they may appear silly. To change blindly accepted beliefs requires the constant use of the will. The constant use of the will. Do it. Do it again. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Do it again. Do it again and again and again and again and again and again. Look. Repetition. Trauma. Symbols. To change blindly accepted beliefs requires the constant use of the will, the critical faculties, and the question why. We need to explore our subconscious beliefs because if we do not, we probably will have a lot of confusion within that may keep us from moving ahead or keep us from being able to work with magic. For example, 200 years ago, a magician passed on information to a neophyte, etc., whatever you want to call them. With the magical information also came personal modifications, superstitions, and misunderstandings. 200 years later, the line of power is still valid or the same. But by now, it carries several generations of personalized thinking as well. So now new initiates are in danger of accepting quite a lot of rubbish. See, that's the problem with belonging to a group. Sometimes I sit back and I think, man, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, they belong to these groups, and it's like when they get in there and they run across people like us, and we're getting the same results, except we might be more advanced, because when you belong to these groups, your information it's spoon fed to you, and you have to purchase it. It's a lot of rules, it's a lot of laws. You're not allowed to know certain things uh, until a certain time at the discretion of someone else. It's just like it's crazy, and it's not even necessary, because this is your birthright. This information is there. I'm saying it'll come to you the minute you make that choice. It'll just start coming to you. Hmm? You look at all of the entertainers, the so-called stars, they call these people stars, man. You know what I'm saying? Unnatural or the false stars, because they're recreating the heavens. We used to look to the heavens for guidance. We used to be able to look to the heavens and read the stars. We used to be able to look at the stars and know everything. But they took our attention from those stars, and now we look at these stars, and these stars belong to these groups. These stars do what they're told because they receive benefits from their group. We're getting carried away. Let's get off that subject. Another thing to watch out for Another thing to watch out for is the fact that students of esoteric subjects love to join secret societies. If you come up against lines and contacts from the past, secret chiefs and spirit guides and truths that may never be revealed, then perhaps it would be wise to give the secret society a wide berth, or you could become as they are, with the blind leading the blind. Positive beliefs produce positive actions and results. If you believe something, it will come true. Since belief will activate the will in a positive way, which will then bypass the unbelieving conscious mind. So belief, which is gnosis, which is more than belief, but this is like codes, like they're talking in code. So they're saying that gnosis will activate the will in a positive way, the will, which is Lucifer, which will bypass the ego. It'll bypass the conscious mind, which is the ego, and have the soul. It will have the soul doing its bidding, creating your reality. The reverse is also true. The will can be exercised to change old beliefs for better ones, for better results, for a better life. Magic presents symbols via the imagination to the subconscious mind in believable form. Woo! It is important to use the right symbols in the right way with the right beliefs, free from superstition. Unfortunately, people built many undesirable qualities into visual imagery. By all means, have a rain god if it will produce rain when most people need it. As superstition crept in, however, it became necessary to appease the gods. Even with ritual sacrifice, the image or symbol ended up being misunderstood, and we have had trouble with it ever since. There can be no excuse for bowing and scraping to an image that was, after all, created by humans in the first place. So let us keep the old gods and the new ones in perspective. They still have a use, but we must let common sense prevail. Sense is not common. Yeah, man, don't fall for them word semantics, man. Very powerful. That's another type of magic as well. There's wordplay. There's wordplay that we have in the society. Little words like benefit of the doubt. There is no benefit in a doubt. How does a doubt benefit you? Has it ever benefited you? Why do people say it? It's magic. Sense is not common. However, you're led to believe with this term common sense. It's confusion. It's magic. Certain people are getting certain results with you believing that these phrases, that this grammar from a grimoire, book of spells, this grammar, from you believing in this grammar is getting you certain results. These results, are they benefiting you? Because if you're not getting benefited by the law of duality, someone is benefiting from you not benefiting. If that makes any sense. Real talk though, magic puts an end to all of that. Magic transcends duality. Magic can make once you program your subconscious mind. See, I read this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It talked about a win-win situation. It talked about synergy. 1 + 1 = 3 or more. That's synergy. 1 + 1 = 2 is a transaction. 1 + 1 = 1.5 is a compromise. But 1 + 1 = 3 or more. When we could say 1 + 1 will make 3 million, would make 5, would make 200, whatever we want it to, that's synergy. That transcends duality, creation. But it's a mindset. So that's what, in that book, it spoke about synergy. It spoke about these things that we're talking about, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And here we are reading this, but we're still getting the same principles. Okay. So let's carry on. So let us keep the old gods and the new ones in perspective. They still have a use, but we must let common sense prevail. Magic is a noble art and an exact science, and it works because it is a science, as well as being your divine right. You were created to create. Each and every one of us is using power all the time. As students of magic, we become aware of this power and use it as we will. The most heated debates that concern the use of magic involve discussion of black and white magic. So here we go talking about, I'm saying, the black and white magic. So we talking about the black and white lodges again. So you see how the gnosis, and you see how it's all universal. It all ties into each other, because now the root of black magic, white magic, or the black lodge and the white lodge. You know from standing on, standing from your perspective, you know exactly what each one is now. Okay, so let's see, black and white magic. It is worthwhile to explore power as it relates to black and white magic, so you can understand how to use power correctly. We were created to create whatever we will, using power and exercising our right of free choice. What we create in our minds will actualize. Once the subconscious powerhouse accepts the idea, we are responsible for all our creative actions in the same way that we are responsible for the ripples on the surface of a pool into which we have just dropped a pebble. So cause and effect. To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. We are responsible for all our creative actions in the same way that we are responsible for the ripples on the surface of a pool into which we have just dropped a pebble. So I could place that pebble in the water and make tiny little ripples, or I can take that pebble and smash it into the water and make a big splash and get wet. Exactly what am I looking for? What are the results that I'm looking for? The ball is always in my court. Okay. God, and by God, I mean the ultimate creative entity, does not approve or disapprove. Any action we take is our choice, and we must live with it. When they speak of God in this, they're talking about the unknown God. Okay, does not approve or disapprove. Any action we take is our choice, and we must live with it. This is the real idea of karma, cause and effect. We are responsible for whatever we do. This is not a divine threat, it is common sense. It does not mean we have to be holy and saint-like and suffer all kinds of penalties if we make a mistake. As we sow, so shall we reap. So it makes sense to sow the things we want and try not to affect others adversely. Pretty much is saying, man, I'm saying you get into this, there ain't no black, white magic or white magic. It's just know that, just live, live, practice with everything that you do to be in harmony with the 7 hermetic principles, because then you will always get the best results in anything that you do. You live harmoniously with universal law. Only you know what's right for yourself. Only you know when you're doing something wrong. An easy way to know when you're doing something wrong is because when you know you're doing something wrong, you hide to do it. If you can't do something when everyone is looking, then you know you have no business doing it. No one else knows, only you know. So that ties into universal law. I also see in the tenets of voodoo, they speak about honor and integrity, validity. You know what I'm saying? If you're a fraud, if you're black hearted, or you have an evil heart, like you just out to do like just fuck shit. The ancestors, them spirits, man, they not fucking with you, man. You know what I'm saying? They not fucking with you. Your shit gonna be weak. It ain't gonna work. But when you're pure of heart, when you're valid, when you real, when you have honor and integrity, I'm saying your magic is gonna be powerful. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we are responsible for whatever we do. This is not a divine threat, it is common sense. It does not mean we have to be holy and saint-like and suffer all kinds of penalties if we make a mistake. As we sow, so shall we reap. So it makes sense to sow the things we want and try not to affect others adversely. Power is neither positive nor negative, good nor bad, nor any other division we could think of. It just is. And it is abundant and given freely so that we may create freely and hopefully with wisdom. So I'm going to give you an example. If you do what you know to be right for you, and everything you know, you just not about that creepy life, that fuck life. You don't do no fuck shit. You just don't. Just because you don't. So everything you do, you know it's right. It's right for you. It might not be right for somebody else, but it's right for you. For example, I treat others how I treat myself until you show me that you don't deserve that. So I'm not going to do something to you that I wouldn't want you to do to me. So the minute that you do something to me that I would never do to you, you stand out. I can clearly see who you are because I know who I am. So you're either in agreement with my character or you're in opposition to my character. So now the ball's in my court. Now the ball's in my court. I'm doing what I know to be right. And here you come with some fuck shit. So it would be right for me to smash you according to universal law, according to the seven hermetic principles. I would be justified, right and exact, correct in my actions because you are opposed to my frequency. We are in direct opposition. And that being said, we cannot occupy the same space at the same time. And I will cancel you out. Okay. Power is neither positive nor negative, good nor bad, nor any other division we could think of. It just is, and it is abundant and given freely, so that we may create freely and hopefully with wisdom. It does not help those who are deemed to be good. It does not put down those who are deemed to be bad. There is no such thing as good and evil. It is all a question of attitude toward any given situation. What is good for one person may be totally bad for another. We have been conditioned to think that certain things are good and others bad. Conditioned, programmed. Yeesh. But are they really so? Perhaps it is a case of accepting lines from the past again. See, the concept of good and evil actually came from the Persian Empire that took over the world that you seen in that movie 300. So before them, there was no concept of, bad or good, good and evil. uh, Okay, so each one of us must decide what is good and bad for us and then use our power center to achieve that end. It is one thing to make a mistake. It is quite something else to knowingly do something you consider bad or evil. Remember, how you know you're doing some fuck shit is because you wouldn't do it when everybody's looking. If you got to pick and choose when you do something, you know you got no business doing it. Like attracts like. Every cause has an effect. If you sow what you know to be evil, then you will reap evil. And for some, that is just what they want. Strange as this may seem, so-called black magicians coming. Oh, also as well, they're telling you good and evil does not exist. In Gnosticism, in Kemetic texts, Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic, they all tell you this is an illusion. Your soul, your spirit, is not a part of this world. Well, your spirit, let me say it. Your spirit is not of this world. It's here. It's in this world. This world is temporary. So whatever is done here is only an illusion anyway. So they're telling you this in this book. If you read between the lines, good and evil don't exist. But if you into that, if you sow what you know to be evil, then you will reap evil. If you sow what you know to be evil, if you know this to be evil, then you're gonna reap evil. In other words, clear your fucking thoughts. Get that fucking concept out of your head. Get that shit out of your head, man. Anyway, so-called black magicians come under three main headings. Those who get a sort of thrill from being nasty to others, usually the church, the establishment, or anyone else who could, like somebody really has the time to sit around and plot against the church and the establishment. Like, well, the establishment, I could definitely understand that. But you sitting around like Mum Ra or Skeletor, oh man, just to get a thrill from being nasty to others, some serious shit. Let me find out, man. Some of y'all niggas out here doing that shit. Those who indulge in sex and violence, and those who supposedly misuse their magical powers for material reasons. That's me. That's me all the way. Except for I ain't misusing my shit. I'm using it rather well, I would say. This is a whole perspective. It's like this book was written by some new age, right hand, white magic. Because no, actually, I can't say that the book was written from that perspective, but this perspective right here that they're speaking of is definitely one of those white magic perspectives when you're talking about the three type of so-called black magicians. Okay, the first type of black magician needs some sort of extroverted behavior. So they're talking about those who get a sort of thrill from being nasty to others, usually the church, the establishment, or anyone else who happens to disagree with them. The first type of black magician needs some sort of extroverted behavior to enhance his or her feelings of hatred for others. This is not magic. Is an overinflated persecution complex mixed with amateur theatricals. The second type contains healthy, oversexed people who need something other than the usual bizarre sexual acts, and they think the mysterious world of magic supplies the extra ingredient. The third type, the materialist, is sometimes despised more by the so-called white magicians who consider that power and magic should only be used to evolve. One moment. Pardon me, y'all. Now, before you make a decision, just think about this evolvement business. Does it really seem conceivable that the supreme creative, all-knowing force would create something as imperfect as humankind and then throw us out of heaven, leaving around clues so that we may climb back up the mythical ladder to our source? God must have made a mistake in our creation, or at least overlooked something along the way. Gnosticism. They're speaking about the demiurge here, the imperfect God. It may be that some people consider that God did, in fact, make a mistake. But I think that those who believe this are not dealing with God, but their own idea of God. God, the God, cannot make mistakes. God is absolutely and utterly perfect in every way and cannot in any way be wrong, unjust, ill-feeling, and so all. Anything less than perfect cannot be God. So they're talking about the unknowable God, and they're talking about they're showing the difference between the unknown God and the demiurge, the creator God. They created this imperfect thing called creation. Okay, let's move on. So where does this leave us? The idea of evolving is an old one. And like so many old ideas, it is wrong. We were created perfect and still are. It is just that we do not know this. We have forgotten it and substituted some rather strange ideas instead. The fall came when we became curious about the things that would harm ourselves and others because of free choice and power. We got ourselves into a mess and lost track of reality. We were given the entire physical universe as a paradise to live in, given power to create physical things, and given free choice. Yet we somehow managed to turn this into hell all by ourselves. Yes, we must each evolve, not up a ladder, but rather back to the knowledge that earth is supposed to be a paradise, and to the wisdom of correct thinking in a spirit of love and oneness. It could be argued that the fall was to learn magic and the mechanism of creation. But can you see the folly of this? We sit around having everything and being bored senseless because everything has been provided. We all need adventure and excitement, and we have been given power to create art, music, and science. We can explore the unknown, and there are many outlets for this energy. The material aspects of life are important, and although it may seem fashionable to take a vow of poverty to evolve, do get the material side of life in perspective. No, God put all this material potential here just to tempt us. That would be sadistic. Why tempt your own prime creation? Material aspects do have their problems. The real materialists are the ones who suffer from greed. To them, the material is a constant source of living hell, and all because of the wrong attitude. Possessions and comforts are neither good nor evil. It is sometimes our attitude that is wrong. Self-denial without some solid reason or incentive is just as bad as greed. For instance, it is stupid to fast just because religious dogma insists. It is, however, a good idea to use a fast for a reason, like enhancing the awareness or cleaning out the body. So, in other words, for my people in the conscious community, you don't need to be poor to be righteous or to be a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Money isn't evil. You know what I'm saying? If you have a lot of money, you're not a wicked person. Okay. That belief right there holds a lot of our uh holds a lot of conscious brothers and sisters back. Okay. The idea that you may do something for someone else but not for yourself is wrong, very wrong. There is no reason for this other than perhaps superstition. If you tell yourself often enough, you will believe it. And if you believe it, it will come true. If you are at present hard up, confused, searching for something, trying to evolve, or coping with life's endless problems, then remember that all this is happening because you are causing it to happen. As far as your subconscious mind is concerned, this is what you really want. Most of these wants were pushed into your subconscious before you were old enough to resist, but nevertheless, they are there. See, a lot of these wants are being pushed into our subconscious by our parents, cartoons, movies, even before you leave your mother's womb. Everything that she believes, everything that she thinks, everything that she listens to, everything that she eats is forming you. So why not exchange them for the things you really do want? Throw away dogma, superstition, and wrong thinking. Ask why, and why again. Evolve to the knowledge of you and your needs using creative, magical power to this end. The end product of I'm noticed that they're using creative, magical power to this end. Creative. Now, we both know that when we hear the term creative, it's satanic. Because in a book, Liber Null, that Bobby Hemmick recommends, Liber Null is talking about chaos magic. And we all know that chaos is Tiamat. Creator or creator would be Marduk or the demiurge or so many other names. I don't know. I just wanted to make that. It just hit me, so I had to say something. The end product of magic is physical, not imaginary. A magical act without a physical result is not magic. Meditation and path working will provide you with information, not as a gift from the inner guardians of the gods, but because you are entitled to it. In other words, this information, this knowledge, okay, meditation and path working will provide you with information, not as a gift, not as a gift from the spirit realm, but because you are entitled to it. Know that. Don't believe it, know it. When you get information, use it for yourself and others, but use it all the same. Use it. That's what it's here for. Use it. The system of magic that I am going to reveal will show you how to manipulate all aspects of your life according to your needs, and it will assist you in evolving to the knowledge of your real self. It will help you become yourself in your own way, as an individual linked to the whole, separate yet belonging, responsible for your own actions using your own free will. The basics given to you will, if you wish, lead on to other systems, be they Orphic or Hermetic, naturalistic or Kabbalistic. You are not being restricted in any way, nor are you accepting previous dogma. Now, here are two important things that I want you to do. So now he's gonna ask, he goes on to talk about okay. I want you to set aside all that you know about magic, then question every idea one by one to see if it is indeed true. Second, I wanted you to take all your books on magic and put them away just for a short while. If you have a temple, clear everything out. I can't do that. I hear you say, why not? Stop and think, why not? That single word, why, is probably the only real word of power in existence. You will come to know it and use it in a powerful way. I have asked you to do something, and I will also give you reasons, but I want you to discover something far more valuable than my words or your reactions. In a moment, I would like you to stop reading and take a pen and paper, thinking and write down your thoughts. First, what kind of reaction did you have to this idea? Was it positive, maybe later on, or negative? This is not a trick question. I'm genuinely trying to point you toward the truth about yourself, your real self. Do this now. Let's expand a little. Again, I want you to stop reading shortly and write down your thoughts. If the answer was yes, why did you agree to this? Was it because you really thought it was a good idea, or did you say yes for some other reason? Think about this and then write it down. If your answer was maybe later on, ask yourself what you are trying to protect. Define exactly when later on is. If your answer was no, then give your reasons. Perhaps you do not like someone else telling you what to do. Or are you also being protective? Really think about this. Do this now. Now let's continue. In front of you is a whole world of information about yourself if you could just see it. For a start, you will fall into one of the three categories. See, I went through a lot of us that have breakthroughs that are effective. A lot of us that are effective in the craft, it's because we already know who we are. We had our breakthroughs. We already died to ourselves. We know who we are. We know our weaknesses. We know our strengths. I'm saying probably been dragged through the mud, but that's how you find out who you really are. So if you've never had the good fortune to be raked through the mud to find out who you really are, then these exercises, I mean, these exercises, because I did it. And these exercises here, they work. They work. But what I realized was I already knew who I was before I did the exercise. But I would definitely recommend that you guys find out who you are, man. You really got to get past that heart chakra, really. That's when you realize that you're a part of the whole. You're an individual, but you're still connected to everything. And I'm saying you'll find that compassion, and which will lead to higher gateways of wisdom and expression and spiritual knowledge, spiritual insight. But it all begins with you, man. You got to know who you are, man. Like, really, who are you? No one else can answer that. Now, for a start, you will fall into one of three categories: receptive, evasive, or assertive. If you are receptive, you probably do things for other people at your own expense, and you probably accept ideas from other people without thinking. You must learn to be more assertive and question. If you are evasive, you have a great deal of difficulty making decisions, and you must learn to be more decisive. If you are assertive, the chances are you are being overprotective. I've been all three at different points in my life. I've been all three. And I had to overcompensate when I used to be indecisive. I had to overcompensate with assertiveness. When I was too assertive or too aggressive, I had to learn to become more receptive. So it's a balance of all three. Taking the middle path once again, or detached dispassion, as Muwada Ashby puts in his book. He terms it that's actually godhood, becoming detached and dispassionate from everything. Easier said than done, but it's possible with practice. Okay, if you are assertive, the chances are you are being overprotective. What is it you are protecting? It could well be that you are protecting parts of yourself that are of no use to you. A very important statement was once inscribed at the Delphic Oracle: know thyself. It is valuable for you to discover why you are as you are at this point in time. You are probably not being truly yourself. In reality, you will probably become a blend of all three of these categories, but in a much higher form and with a predominance of one of them. Before coming to a definite decision about this clearance that I've suggested, I want you to explore a few more concepts about this subject, no matter which category you think you belong to. You think you belong to. Oh, man. I think I sent some shade up in there. That was kind of shady. Before magic can work, your study or knowledge of the subject has to be firm and correct. Just that the foundation of a house is vital to its entire structure. What sort of foundation should we have? One that is true. Step one is often the most difficult because it involves letting go. By giving up everything like this, you detach yourself and are then able to look at the concept of magic away, objectively, from a distance. This sets up another reaction called desire. And desire power is what magic is all about, because desire is going to attract. Desire is going to attract. Remember, you only have two emotions on this plane. You got desire and you got fear. All of the emotions fall under those two headings. You got desire and fear and love. Some people call it love, but I like to say desire. Fear is going to attract. Desire is going to attract. They both attract. I'm saying, what do you want to attract? Okay. So they're talking about detaching, becoming detached and dispassionate. And this makes you objective. This sets up another reaction called desire, and desire power is what Magick is all about. Those who teach that desire is wrong are supreme fools. Desire is like a magnet, it pulls things towards you, both good and bad. When you're detached like this, you are in a unique position to look at your desires so you can decide which are of value and which are true. As I mentioned, yoga and meditation, the main goals of yoga and meditation are to achieve this detachment. As I said in Muwada Ashby's book, Egyptian Yoga, he talks about deep, dispassionate detachment and how it is considered godhood in ancient Kemet, because God doesn't cry when babies are eaten by dingoes. God doesn't jump for joy when, I don't know, when somebody wins $1 million. Like, God is always detached and dispassionate and just observing. That's why your soul is referred to as the silent observer. That eye in the pyramid is the silent observer. Your soul just silently witnessing and watching. Your subconscious witnessing and recording lifetimes through emotion. Witnessing and recording lifetimes through emotions. That's how it records, through emotions. So your emotions are very important when it comes to this science. Your emotions will also make your science more effective. And let's carry on. Really and truly, you are not actually giving up anything. You are becoming selective. You are exercising choice. You're becoming the discerner, like Anubis. You are deciding and you are in control. That's why Anubis was the dog, because he could sniff out the path. He could discern. He could sniff out friend from foe, right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? He could sniff out which is right for him. You know what I'm saying? So you could, that's what this detachment is going to do for you. It's going to help you tap into that Anubis energy. You'll be able to discern what is true, what holds real value to you. You'll know who you really are. You'll have a purpose. And everything you do, every decision you make will bring you closer to that purpose. And you'll be able to achieve that purpose through your science effectively. Now, can you see why I asked you to set aside those things that are dear to you? It was done so you could gain even more. Only this time you gain things that are right for you rather than acquiring useless items, thoughts that inevitably block your progress. Damn. Yo. You must learn to let go. Think of this as a mathematical equation. Letting go equals gain. To give is to gain. There goes universal law again, hermetic principles. You know what I'm saying? What you put out is what will come back to you. So let me explain to you this, man. I went through most of my life taking. So naturally, the universe took from me. Because growing up, how I grew up, this is what you believe. It's what everybody tell you, yo, the only way you get ahead is through, you got to take. Nobody going to give you got to take. And I really believed that wholeheartedly, and I lived it. You know what I'm saying? I lived it. That's all I knew. I thought that was the only way to get ahead in life. And universal law, prove that what you give is what you will receive. And then it struck me. Well, if that's true, then the opposite is true. Let me give. I'm not losing anything. See, that's that. I changed my perspective from win-lose to win-win. I don't have to lose if you win. I can help you win. More than likely, you will help me win. And even if you don't help me win, universal law is going to see to it that that frequency that I'm on returns to me. If I have my hands full of shit, how can I receive? I must free up my hands to be able to receive. Okay, so to give is to gain. It is scientific, magical, and it works. My nigga, that shit work. Let me tell you, let me be the first one. That shit work. The more you cling to things, the more you in fact lose. By giving, I do not mean squandering or losing out by being over generous and foolhardy. I mean applied cosmic fact. There they go. Universal law, cosmic fact, cosmic law, hermetic principles, alchemical law. Feel me? Okay. Give and gain. That is the law. As a final point, you are about to plant a seed, a magical seed. In real life, you would not dream of planting this in a bed of weeds. So why do this magically? Clear the ground and start from scratch. I promise you that you will not lose anything, but you will gain more than you may realize now. Getting your personal base cleared of unnecessary restrictions allow you to look for real magic. The process is not as difficult as you think, as long as you keep your goal in sight. And that goal is your true magical potential. Life is not trying to deny you this success. You always get exactly what you want. You always get exactly what you want. But let me ask you something. If I were to ask y'all, hey, what's your purpose in life? How many of y'all can answer me? If I was to ask you, how do you feel right now? And don't say happy, sad, and none of that. Don't say that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Dejected, ecstatic. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel? You know what I'm saying? Could you answer that? If you could answer that, could you answer, why do you feel that way? How do you feel and why do you feel that way? Huh? I feel pretty ecstatic. I'm on YouTube with my peoples. We kicking it. Gnosis. I'm ecstatic. You know what I'm saying? I love spreading gnosis. I love it. Makes me feel good. That's how I feel right now. And that's why. That's the first thing in knowing who you are. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know your purpose, how are you going to know what you want? If you don't know what you want, how are you going to get what you want? It all starts with you, man. You got to go within. You got to figure out who you are, man. First of all, who are you? Can't nobody else answer that for you, man. Seriously, man. It ain't no right or wrong, my nigga. Like, ain't no right or wrong. If you want to be a fucking, like, whatever you want to be, like, I'm saying, who are you? You come to grips with it, you be like, yo, man, I'm a great person or I'm a terrible person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a soft person, but I want to be a tyrant. I'm a tyrant, but I want to be a nice guy. Hey, that's up to you. You know what I'm saying? But you could get what you want. With this right here, you just got to know who you are. Then you're going to know what you want. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a purpose, my man. And every decision you make going to take you one step further to that purpose. Every decision you make, you're going to know the decision that takes you closer to that purpose. It works. Will work for me. And my shit is effective. I'm telling you this right now, man. So effective. Yo, my results, man. My magic is so effective, man. I want everybody else to get results like this, man. That's why I'm doing this shit. Man. Amazing. The problem up to now has been that you probably did not know what you really wanted, so you got something else. Damn. Before looking for this magical potential, it would be a good idea if we define just what this magical potential is. You were looking for your true potential. In other words, you are looking for a system of magic that works every time and brings you personal happiness, success, and fulfillment. Nothing less. Damn, that shit rhymed. Shit rhymed. Write that down. Bars. So please do not compromise by setting your sights lower. Let us take this further by defining exactly what magic really is. In a moment, I want you to write down your definition of magic. Give your own definition. Again, this is not a trick question. I want you to clear away any false ideas and replace these with the right ones. Do this now. Right. Let us compare notes. If you have written any of the stock phrases on your list, such as magic is the art of causing changes and so forth, you are not giving your ideas, but someone else's. Do try again. It is your views that are important. Not what you have, not what have you got. Now, what have you got that is really yours? Let us see how near you are to the truth. Magic is the science of using and understanding the power of the subconscious mind to achieve a desired result. Magic is the science of using and understanding the power of the subconscious mind to achieve a desired result. So now we see the importance of all of this mind programming and mind programming techniques. Project Monarch, MK Ultra, where they're getting the technology to know how to use it in music, to know how to use it in Hollywood movies and all these, fucking ELF waves from the fucking cell phone towers and all this shit. Like, they know the importance of your conscious and subconscious mind. You know what I'm saying? So I like to call these societies like Marvin the Martian and like, Wile E. Coyote from them cartoons, because they don't stop. You see every single cartoon, you know what I'm saying? The coyote, he trying to get that road runner, man. You know what I'm saying? That coyote, that's the bloodlines. You the road runner. meet. That's you. That's us. We the road runner. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. Just no matter what they try, all they cockamamie schemes, chemtrails, all this other shit, mind program, MK Ultra, all this other shit. We still the road runner, man. We out here running this shit. Running the road. Okay. Magic is the science of using and understanding the power of the subconscious mind to achieve a desired result, a physical result. Time and time again, we will return to this simple yet powerful statement, and you will see how true this really is. Quite often, the physical end of magic is forgotten. It is of little use to spend a lot of time each day in a profound state of meditation and then fill up your notebooks with astral experiences and interesting information if you do not use it. Meditate by all means, but meditate for a purpose and an end product. With all real magic, there has to be a result. Crowded notebooks may well flatter the ego, but they do not solve problems, they create them. The word create is vitally important in magic. The whole idea is to create using power. Directing power by using the mind in a creative manner is really magic. Anything else is pseudo magic. Creation itself creates. So do we, usually without knowing it. To become proficient in magic means that you do know what you are creating. You decide, you exercise choice, and you apply power. At the end of the operation, you expect a result, not another entry in your notebook. If you invoke for a Mercedes-Benz 260E, a Mercedes-Benz 260E should appear. Not a bicycle or some other car, but a Mercedes-Benz 260E. Anything less means there's something wrong with your shit. Magic is not totally about spirituality. It is about material facts, and to think otherwise is sheer folly. Pusha, poppycock. As I have said, if you invoke for a Mercedes Benz 260E, then one must appear. What I mean is that a magical act must have a physical result. Anything other than this can only be classified as failure. Magic is really and truly about getting results. Nothing else will do. Naturally, there are cries of materialist, black magician, and so on. Let me put the record straight once and for all. There's no such thing as black and white magic. First, there is energy, which is never ending, abundant, and given freely. It is neither positive nor negative. Second, there is you. You have the right to use this energy. Third, there is free choice in the way you choose to use this energy. Use it destructively, negatively, or constructively, positively. Both get results. Energy conforms to patterns, and the understanding and use of these patterns is called magic. Energy conforms to patterns, and the understanding and use of these patterns is called magic. Woo! Damn. Man, that shit just hit me, man. Conforms to patterns. Energies conform to patterns. And I think of the cube, cat Saturn, a cube, right? Creation, pineal gland, and all that. But yeah, Saturn represents like restriction, authority, that type of stuff, right? Masculine principle. So I'm sitting in this room, right? I'm in a cube. Because a cube makes a 6-point star. It makes that pattern. A male pattern. But all the windows and doors are rectangles. The rectangle gives me a 5-point star. The Venus energy. Feminine. So they're playing with the masculine and feminine. So they're creating with this sexual energy just by me being in this room. Creating their reality. This is crazy. Anyway, let me get up off that. Energy conforms to patterns, and the understanding and use of these patterns is called magic. It is the intention which matters. If you knowingly use energy for destructive ends, you will use the same energy as you will if you use it for constructive ends. Destruction could be called black and construction white. But even this is not accurate. What is right for one person may not be the right for another. It is your choice, and you must make it. Forget all about black and white, good and evil, and so on. Think about choice and intention, and let these be your guide. Do be patient and let the ideas in this book, guys. I think that's it. I think that's it. And I'm saying y'all could go ahead and check out the link. We got the link for that. We got the link for that in the it's the second comment. It's the second comment in the comment section. Y'all go ahead and check that out. Download that. All right, so okay, so we on the subconscious mind right here. So we got this book right here, Hidden Power: How to Unleash the Power of the Subconscious Mind by James K. Nav Fleet. All right, so it's a good one right here. How you can use the hidden power of your subconscious mind to work literal miracles for you. Woo. Okay. Your dual mind. You have two minds, the conscious one. Okay, we all set. The conscious one and the subconscious one. See, now we about to go into the whole difference between the. We already know that the subconscious mind is what creates our reality and determines our magic, the effectiveness of our magic. This is going to show you how to use the conscious mind to access the subconscious mind. I'm saying Panic also has actually, he always mentions a PDF that he has called Cyclomancy. And that you actually learn how to use your conscious mind to access the subconscious realm. Things that your subconscious mind does, like body temperature, making your heart beat, all this kinds of stuff. You learn how to control those faculties with your conscious mind. I've done it. Shit is crazy. Crazy. Got that PDF too. My shit missing page 9. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get into that too. I'll throw that up there for y'all. Say no more. You have two minds, the conscious one and the subconscious one. Your conscious mind uses logic, deduction, and reason to reach its conclusions and to make its decisions. Your choices in life, your decisions as to what you will or will not do are made by your conscious mind, not by your subconscious mind. However, when you learn how to use your subconscious mind properly, you will find that the choices and decisions made by your conscious mind will be guided and influenced by the information received from your subconscious mind. So once you're able to access your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, which is like the driver of the car, your ego, he's like the driver of the car, will receive instructions from your subconscious mind, which is your soul, the passenger. Okay. Okay, your subconscious mind does not think or act on its own volition or in its own initiative. Its primary purpose is to achieve the goals that have been given to it by your conscious mind. If you do not give your subconscious mind any goals to reach or problems to solve, it will never work for you. But if you do give it specific goals and concrete objectives to obtain, for example, a new house, an expensive car, a better job, and so on, it will go all out to achieve them for you. I will discuss these functions of the conscious and subconscious minds in greater detail. You go, all right, boom. All right. So it says that he talks about how your subconscious mind works like a computer. Speaking of computers, that D-Wave technology was created D-Wave technology is actually an artificial subconscious mind. We'll get into that some other time. So he goes on to even if a computer could be built that would be sophisticated, as complex, and as intricate as the subconscious mind, it would still need a human being conscious mind to operate it. A man-made computer does not have a built-in conscious mind to direct its actions as your subconscious mind has. Nor can a man-made computer pose original problems to itself. It has no imagination and cannot set its own goals, nor does it have emotions to help it make the correct moral decisions. A man-made computer can work only on the data supplied to it from the outside by its human operator. Although the subconscious mind operates less rapidly and less accurately in some respects than a man-made computer does, simply because it has human and not a machine, it is human and not a machine, and therefore subject to all the emotions of the conscious mind. Even the most advanced computer is left far behind when it is compared with the subconscious mind's staggering capacity to accomplish the unbelievably difficult tasks that are assigned to it to solve. After all, the computer was born in the mind of man, not the other way around. So this book right here gives you exercises on how to access your subconscious mind. So you have numerous methods. You have numerous methods of honing your craft. You can take the scientific approach. You can take the magical approach. They're pretty much the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much magic is accessing the subconscious mind, which is accessed through repetition, trauma, and symbols. Okay. And so knowing this, putting this information into your psyche, now that you know it, your conscious mind is sort of like a security guard. So when you're watching these films and you see you might notice some mind control techniques, or you might notice something odd or strange about what you're watching, and your conscious mind is going to block that psychic attack on your mind just automatically, because you recognize it just by simply reviewing this information that we've been reviewing since you guys have been joining me. You know what I'm saying? But it was a blast. You know what I'm saying, Brother Bridge, Abode of Sun Moon, we out. See y'all again soon, man.